So yeah, how about that last night?
It was a great show last night.
That was
Learned a lot.
it was. We had them two guys on the show, Corey Fair and
Mhm.
Marlon Brown.
Yes.
Marlon's funny, man.
Yeah, he's funny.
They both are. These two guys are. If you watch their show, they're very very serious.
Very serious.
I think they liked our show because they got
Mhm.
to cut loose a little bit.
Mhm.
You
I just
know.
don't understand how they could keep a straight face like that and just just talk about all the serious stuff and just
Well, yeah, that's
you know.
why I thought that it was a comedy bit that they were
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
I thought, these two guys are the best straight men in the business.
Oh yeah.
Till I realized they were being serious.
But if they haven't, if anybody hasn't followed them
Yeah,
yet, you need to
man.
follow them on their show.
Oh my God! It's like, are you? We're gonna when after we come around from the
Mhm.
from our break, we'll tell everybody what happened last night. 'Cause
Oh yes.
we're over here jibber jabbering, like these people are wondering, like,
What the
why
world are
are
they
they
talking
on
about?
the air and why hasn't the show started yet? Trust me, folks, if you're watching us, the show has already started.
Yeah, you started without you.
We started without you, is exactly right. Amelia, you ready to do this?
Let's do this.
Let's roll credit.
Hello,
Amelia, do
everyone.
you got to scream like that every time you come on the air
I
with me?
think that was your scream. I had to get you to scream for that one.
Funny. People love the new intro, by the way.
Mhm.
Where'd you get that? Not
I
telling you.
It's your creativity.
No, it's what happens when Anita and I get alone in that. My
Oh,
wife's gonna kill me for that one.
oh yeah. I'll buy
Yeah,
tickets to that one.
my sister-in-law or my brother-in-law are probably watching this at some point, and I know my brother-in-law Scott's gonna laugh his ass off when he hears that. It's funny
Yeah.
shit. No,
Yeah.
actually, I found that you can find anything you want on the internet.
Google
So
is your best friend.
yeah, Google. What? That's exactly what I did too. I went on to Google and I typed in "screaming man,"
Mhm.
and I got pictures that came up, and I got audio clips, I got video clips, and I got every kind of like variation of screaming man you can think of. Right. So I
Yeah.
heard this one. I went, I kind of like that. This guy sounds like he's in anguish.
Yeah, because that's the
You
only
know?
screaming you can do, right? Because us women won't let you scream any other way.
Yeah. So tonight,
It's a little different,
as
folks,
we
as you
come
can
on the
see.
air, it is 7:02 p.m. Eastern time here in New York City.
Mhm.
It is 6 o'clock in Chicago, 4 p.m. in Los Angeles. Speaking of Los Angeles, or more appropriately, Palm Springs, my friend Jeffrey Mark will be joining me on March the 21st. A
Mhm.
return engagement. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey will be singing for you. That's
Mhm.
with three selections. I asked him to pick three of his favorite selections, and he did so, and they're good ones. And we're going to play them for you on March the 21st, and Jeffrey's going to sing. How
I found
about
my
it?
picture too of the I Love Lucy picture. Also, not I Love Lucy. It was a
Oh,
picture
yeah.
from
Well, you know what?
1942.
He's written, gosh, he's written a book on Ella Fitzgerald.
Mhm.
He's written a book on, not one book, but two books on I
Mhm.
Love Lucy. He did, oh God, what was the other one? Hold on. He co-wrote
Mhm.
a cookbook.
Yes.
Um, we have. Oh, I am being notified. Hold on, Amelia. This is a.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
being notified by Facebook
Okay.
that we're having an issue. Facebook. This is an issue with Facebook. It is it possible the stream was ended, deleted? No, no, it's not. I don't know what's going on with.
They've been having
Apparently,
some issues.
something's going on with Facebook.
Mhm.
So we're not going to worry about it. I don't really give a shit about Facebook, to be honest with you. Everybody knows that. I don't really give a rat's ass about YouTube either. And we've got 3 YouTube channels, and I don't care about either one of them
No.
because we're not a visual medium.
No. We're not.
This is a radio program.
Mhm.
And if you enjoy old fashioned radio where
Yes.
you sit back and you listen, this is the show for you. And if you
Absolutely it
don't,
is.
then go watch two guys on YouTube circle jerk each other because that's about all you're going to get from YouTube is a giant clusterfuck. Because
Yes.
I'm not finished with YouTube yet. By the
Oh,
end of
we've
this show,
just begun.
Amelia and I are going to have a commentary to end all commentaries. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on
Mhm.
the Big Mouth, this is Amelia's show, and that's her mouth behind us. Um, it is. I modeled it right after you, kid.
I don't think so. I can't open my mouth
Look
that
at
big
that
for the
big mouth up there in that corner.
no.
That's you. That's all Amelia up there.
No, no, no.
Tonight we're going to do something that we talked about. I want to fill everybody in.
Mhm.
We talked about doing a series of shows on related to the medical profession and
Yes.
shows involving the medical profession. We've already done one show
Yes.
on autism.
Mhm.
Tonight we're doing the second in that series. This is bipolar disorder.
Yes, it is.
Next week we're going to round out our 3 shows with overall medical care, the crisis that America's having providing good medical care. And and the other thing we're going to talk about, Amelia, and you get this
Mhm.
a lot with your job,
Yes.
bad medicine.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Doctors
All the time.
giving bad medicine, the
Or
wrong medicine to treat the wrong illness.
over prescribing medication, actually.
Oh, big time.
Yes.
We're actually going to cover that next week,
Mhm.
and thank you for that.
Oh, yes.
Amelia works in the medical profession.
Mhm.
This is all she does. But what she does that's very important, and she brings this level of expertise to us. She works with government programs like Medicare, Medicaid.
Mhm.
She works with government programs like PAD
Mhm.
and other various and sundry programs. Um,
The discount
Medicare.
medication for
What is it?
patients,
Medicare. The one that Amelia has the
behavioral health.
hospital and drug coverage Part D or
Yes, so we discount medications for patients who can't afford to pay the full price for medications, like especially for like their insulin. We provide
Mhm.
discount programs. They fill out an application, and for like $11 a year, they get medication like for their insulin or any
Mhm.
other medications that they can't afford.
Yeah. And that's important because there
It
are a
is.
lot of people like myself. I'm a diabetic.
Hmm.
I rely on diabetic medication,
Hmm.
and some of that stuff can get very expensive.
It can, yes, it is.
In a hurry, it could get expensive, big time. So Amelia's job is to help sort through the bullshit.
Exactly.
You know. So you brought this subject to me.
Mm.
The show we're doing tonight is bipolar disorder. Tell me why it's important to you.
Well, because it's actually a lot it has to do with ADHD, bipolar, and autism, and OCD, ODD. A lot of that is pretty much like wrapped in one little package, like I was telling earlier. It's pretty much all the same symptoms wrapped into one. And a lot of these doctors don't know how to diagnose each one separately because it's all one symptom pretty much in one package. And how are they going to know how to diagnose each one and give the correct medication, because one could be one thing and it could actually be something else.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Has anybody ever given you a straight answer on that question?
No, they really haven't, because sometimes one of the providers, we didn't know that this person had bipolar and they were diagnosed with ADHD, and they were given the wrong medication, and of
Can
course
we
they were
tell
allergic to that.
everybody, Amelia,
Mhm.
how that's possible? Can
Well,
you
the
tell
symptoms are
everybody
very, very similar. For example, mood swings, depression, anxiety. That's pretty
hyperactivity,
hyperactivity.
depression,
Depression.
all of that? Do you hear what she's saying,
Hmm.
guys? Do you hear what she's saying?
Hmm. And
We
obsessive
have a
compulsive disorder.
disease called bipolar disorder.
Hmm.
Okay, we have this disease called bipolar disorder.
Hmm.
The problem is they're treating the disease with medicines that they don't know if they'll work or not,
No,
because the main reason why, because they don't know how bipolar disorder comes to
no.
be.
And you're not
Amelia,
born with it.
please
Later on,
tell
it
me if
comes
I'm
later.
making this up.
No,
Will you
you're
please?
not. You're not making it up, because we're not born. People are not born with it. It comes on later on when they're older. That's probably, I'm gonna say probably, because that's probably when they're diagnosed with it. Because
And
you don't
and
want to
and,
give.
and I'm can I stop you there for
Sure.
just a second? I want you really to listen what she's saying.
Hmm.
Okay? I want you to listen to what she's saying. You're not born bipolar.
Mm-mm.
It's circumstances happen in your life
Hmm.
that lend toward this disorder.
Yes.
It's not a disease. Let me be
Mm-mm.
very, very clear with
No.
you. Bipolar disorder is not a disease. It's not contagious.
No, it's not.
It's not hereditary. It's not in the blood.
No.
Okay, so just so you understand what we're talking about, it's not in the blood. You can't catch it.
No.
Okay, it's not like a cold. You can't
Mm-mm.
catch it. Okay, Amelia,
Hmm.
tell everybody some of the circumstances that lend to bipolar disorder.
Well, for example, shift mood swings, highs to lows of depression. You can also be hyper. You do during certain activities. You can be. One of them was sexually abused. That could be another
That's
thing.
important. That's important.
Mhm.
Could you tell everybody what we just talked about last week that
Exactly.
ties right into that?
Autistic is as well the same thing.
Thank you.
There's a lot of
How
same
do we
symptoms.
know, Amelia? How do we know that bipolar disorder isn't another way of saying autistic?
It's about the same things. Maybe just one
What
or two
about
symptoms
if
could be
we throw
different.
this one into the mix?
Hmm.
What if we throw this into the mix?
Hmm.
Behavioral problems.
That's
How
ADHD.
about
That could
if
be
we
that.
say chemical imbalance?
That again, that's ADHD, obsessive compulsive
ADHD,
disorder,
yeah.
obsessive defiant disorder. There's like, so see how many different diseases there
And,
is out there. There's
and
like
you
so
know
many of
what?
that.
And nobody knows how to get them.
No,
Nobody
mm-mm.
knows where they come from.
Right?
They happen.
Because you don't want to give somebody that's bipolar a medication for ADHD,
Well,
for example.
you went right there. You
Hmm.
went there. So I'm going to ask the question.
Hmm.
If we don't know where it comes from,
Hmm.
how the hell do we know how to treat it?
Exactly. Because how do we know that they're not misbehaving in class? Because maybe that's what they're learning in class is just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. It's boring. Maybe they want to test them to maybe they belong in a different higher grade. Maybe because that's
You know
something
what
of a student.
autistic kids do, Amelia? We talked
Mhm.
about this last week.
Yeah, they just do
They get up
this
in the
or
middle of class and they move around. You know
hmm
why?
hmm
Because they
they're
get
bored.
bored very easy.
Yeah, because they're probably too
Autistic
smart.
children. I
Hmm.
want people to listen to this.
Hmm.
Amelia and I talked about this last week. Autistic children
Hmm.
tend to be on the higher end of the learning scale.
Yes,
They
very
tend to
very
be
smart.
geniuses when they grow up.
Hmm.
They tend to be people like John Nash,
Yes.
who was a savant.
Hmm.
If you haven't seen it, go watch a film called The Beautiful Mind.
Hmm.
It's about a man who was severely autistic. He was a fucking genius. He was a genius. And there's a statue today here in New Jersey at Princeton University
Mm-hmm.
in front of the department that he founded. A guy with autism. Okay? What made him different? I'm going to tell everybody what made him different. He used to have imaginary conversations with people that weren't there. But it was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. His IQ was over 240. Do you understand what a 240 IQ is?
Right.
Einstein, Albert Einstein, didn't
Mm-hmm.
even have a 240 IQ.
Just imagine if he was born back then, what we would have today, right
Would
now.
you think
Hmm.
about that?
Yes.
Imagine what we would have.
Hmm.
Think about it. It's unbelievable the possibilities, but it's even more remarkable
Hmm.
that doctors and the medical profession are ready to write off people with autism, bipolar disorder, ADHD, ADD,
Hmm.
um,
Obsessive
um,
compulsive disorder.
OCD. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, here you go. You want admission time? Here you go. I'm obsessive compulsive. Okay. There you go. The whole world knows it now. I have to have, it's just a thing with me. I'm going to show you
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
You see this pad and paper?
Hmm.
I had to put the pen over here because if this paper is up on my desk here
Hmm.
and the pen is laying flat, it's going to be bothering me for the entire show. So I had to pick it up and put it up because it will bother me.
Oh yeah.
Like, see what I'm doing?
Hmm.
I have to put it back on because it's just irking the shit out of me that it's not on there.
Well, I used to work at a shoe store when I was younger, and where we put the shoes, like it was like a Payless shoe store, or all
Yeah.
those shoes like that were used like that. And then as I got older, of course, I go get the shoes for my kids or anything like that, and I see shoes out of place. I got so upset. I would fix the shoes. I couldn't help it but do it
Yeah.
because. And I was like, "Oh my God, these shoes are no, 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 they're not supposed to be look like that." So I had to fix them. That was
Yeah.
my OCD in me, and like, no, they're
Your
not gonna.
OCD is when your Mexican kicks in and you start talking so fast I can't understand you.
No, it's like how these kids are not gonna
Amelia,
fix
for
these
those
shoes.
of you just tuning in, Amelia is full blooded Mexican. And when she gets started, sometimes she speaks so fast that goes, "Slow down,
It's
girlfriend."
like, "Oh, no, I can't handle this. I can't handle this. These
Slow
shoes are out
down,
of
kid.
place." So
Papa
it's
can't, my ears can't run that fast, baby.
no, I mean, I would get like, "Oh, I can't handle this. I can't handle this." So I would take
Yeah.
and so I would see the shoes out of place, and so I would fix them myself, and they were like, "Wait a minute, weren't these shoes out of place?" Yeah, but I fixed them because I can't stand seeing
Yeah.
them like this, so that's just me. Or I'd go down like the laundry detergent aisle, even to this day, and I'm like, okay, I'm in laundry detergent aisle. There's lots of detergent. I just better hurry up and get out of here because I just can't handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like
Um,
too much for me.
by the way, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
My microphone's playing tricks on me here.
And then it's just to me it was like so many things like when I saw this, I'm like, okay, well, play, do daily activities with this person, not to make them feel guilty. I mean, that's just a lot of the same things that.
I wanted to ask you about, okay, you work
Mhm.
in a center where you have to make appointments for people.
Yes.
I'm sure you've had people that were bipolar call in. I'm sure you've
Mhm.
had people that were, um, uh, bi- you know,
Some had a
I'm
lot of
trying to,
headaches.
I want to use the politically correct word.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
behavior modification, if I could use
mhm.
that word.
Mhm.
Um,
Some were autistic. Some had a lot
yeah.
of headaches because, and they were wanting to think maybe
What
it's
I guess the
because
word I was looking for was mentally challenged,
yes. Mhm.
because there are certain words that you can
Right.
use
No,
that are
well,
not
yeah, you're coming from the right
politically
direction,
correct. But yeah, that's
and
where I want to go with this because here's the point I'm trying to make.
mhm.
that you deal with all of these kinds of issues and you have to make appointments for them.
Mhm.
How often in the appointment process do they cancel out or not show up for appointments, either because
Mhm.
they're embarrassed or they're not taking their medicine or they don't think they need help or like any variation along that line? Just
Well,
fill in the blanks for me here.
well, autistic, we don't see people that are autistic for one because they have a special centers in Tampa that they have to go to
So there's a
because
special
Mhm.
place for that.
Yes, for adults
Okay.
and for
Got it.
children, teenagers, because they're so involved that they need special certain treatments that we don't do
Is that
because we
because the government's more involved with the children and schools and stuff
Mhm.
like that?
Correct.
Okay,
And we're a
gotcha.
smaller community that we want to make sure that we handle like the drug addictions and
Right.
alcohol abuse basically is what we deal with
Yeah.
mainly. And we have a special programs that we do with that.
Right. And so when you have to involve people in these special programs,
Hmm.
now is it that they got to jump through hoops to get into these programs?
Not necessarily. We help a lot of the community even if they don't have Medicaid and Medicare, we
Right.
do self pay. If they don't have self pay, we they pay what they can. If they don't, then we have
Well, if
money
somebody
funds.
does a self pay, right?
Hmm.
Let's say somebody that has bipolar
Hmm.
disorder,
Hmm.
um, and the doctor says, I'm going to put you on Effexor,
Okay.
or I'm going to put you on Prozac.
Hmm.
Like, that's not cheap stuff. It's
No,
kind
it's
of
not.
expensive, right?
Hmm. Correct.
And you could go broke paying out of pocket for it.
Hmm.
So, like, what would you do to set somebody up to ease the financial burden on them a little bit?
Well, we would see if they qualify for that program. Of course,
Right.
they have so much like a year they pay for that program. We do the application and then they would pay like so much a year to like $11, I think it is a year for that. If
Hmm.
not, if they can't do that, not even that, then they would come in and get samples for
Okay, gotcha.
that
Oh,
time
so
being.
they will give samples then,
Yes, but they
which
have
is
to come
good. A
into the
lot of
office.
doctors will do that.
Hmm.
A lot of doctors will do that. Now, how many doctors work for your office?
For the behavioral health,
Yeah.
there's therapists, but they have to see the therapist first to do the intake. They will not give a
Hmm.
medication on the first appointment. And then
Oh
the
God,
doc
no,
no,
never, never.
the therapist has to see first of all if they maybe need one or two appointments first to see make sure that that is what they're there for,
Is
not just
that
to get the
because
medication.
sometimes you could treat them with therapy and not need medicine?
Yes,
There you go.
because we want to
I
make sure
like
that
that.
that's what they're
I'm
there for.
thankful that there's a place in Florida
Hmm.
that's doing this and not like, okay, here you go, Miss Chapman.
Uh-huh.
The Dr. Smith here. I'm going to write you a script here,
Hmm.
and here's 10 scripts for,
Correct.
keep these scripts when they expire. Just use the next one.
Right.
Believe
And
it or not, the example that I just gave you folks
hmm that's what they'll
happened
do.
here in New Jersey.
Hmm.
Okay, and it happened to a guy I knew. He was my doctor, and I'm not outing him because he's not a doctor anymore.
Hmm.
His name was Dr. Dean Ambrose, and that was his real name, Dean Ambrose. And Dr. Ambrose, and I say that because there was a wrestler named Dean Ambrose,
Hmm.
but this is not him. This is the doctor. He's a real doctor, and his real name is Dean Ambrose. He's not a doctor anymore. They took his medical license for writing 10, 15 scripts at a time.
Wow, that's
And
way
giving
too many.
Amelia, I can't make this up. Listen to me. Listen, hear this. Let me hear me out.
Uh-huh.
Just hear me out a minute, because I want people to listen. This doctor was giving diet pills like they were M and M's. Okay, he was giving away not scripts. He was giving away bottles of diet pills. Okay, you want to lose weight? Here, take these little black and red ones, little yellow and black ones.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I was one of those people. I went from 200 pounds to 138 pounds. That's the best I ever looked. Okay? I'll never be 138. I got one leg that weighs 138 pounds. I'm kidding.
Wow.
That's not true. Not true. But my point I'm trying to make is
Mm-hmm.
he would write excessive amounts of scripts and just like give you whatever you wanted
Mm.
without even, all right, how you feel? Oh, I'm hurting over here. Well, here, take this. Take
Oh
this pill.
wow.
Here, take the. Oh, you want? Does your leg hurt? Oh, here, take this pill.
Or have a migraine or something like that.
Yeah.
Here
Oh,
you
here.
go.
Wait, I got a pill for you. Here, take this pill.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
That's why he's not a doctor anymore. The state medical board in New Jersey revoked his license. He's not allowed to be a doctor anymore. He will never, ever again be allowed to be a doctor. And that's a crying shame because he really was a very good doctor. And then he got sloppy, he got careless. And then what happened is what happens, Amelia, to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Money.
Yes.
Money corrupts people.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting rich off this shit. Well, not rich, but he was making a lot of fucking money on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, selling diet pills. That's what they were doing.
Wow.
He said to me once, "Come outside with me." I had an appointment to see him. I was in his office.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Ange," because they had that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
"Ange, come outside, man." Outside, yeah, out front. I'm gonna go have a smoke. My doctor said I'm gonna go have a smoke, right? Okay. He was drank, he smoked, he did all this shit. Anyway, so he just says, "Listen, I got these. You want these? They're black and yellows. You'll lose a shit ton of weight." He was right. I lost a lot of weight, but they made me jumpy as the day is long. I was bouncing off the fucking
Mm.
walls. I was like this all day long.
Like
You
jittery
would think I
rolling.
drunk, Amelia. I swear to you, you would have
Mm.
think I drunk 5 pots of coffee
Oh.
with the amount, how jittery I was.
Mm.
You know,
And
crazy.
that's
But
it.
bipolar disorder, we're talking about a lot of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
all ties into it because the bigger
Mm-hmm.
problem, ladies and gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
the bigger problem is that that's one doctor. The medical system today
Mm-hmm.
is that doctor multiplied by 10,000. Because for every Dean Ambrose that got, uh, defrocked as a doctor, there are 10,000 guys doing the same thing that haven't been caught yet.
Yes, and imagine, and there's 50
You
states,
hear
so
what I'm
imagine
saying?
that. Imagine that, how many states
Tell
there is.
them, Amelia.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah, and right now in Florida, and that's why we here in our state, in our clinic, we make sure that we do it electronically if they have a pharmacy that we send them to. But we only do like 30 days at a time, and we have them come back to make sure that they are okay on that medication,
Right.
first of all. And if
Yep.
that's not working, then we change it to a different type of medication. And they're
Absolutely.
and we want to make
Look,
sure
you
that some
find
of it.
I get the whole trial and error thing. Look,
Mm-hmm.
it's not bipolar disorder,
Mm-mm.
just like autism, just like Asperger's, just like OCD.
Oh yes, it's just so many.
These disorders are not one size fits all.
Exactly, because they say that maybe this could help for bipolar, something that's for ADHD could help for bipolar. So they're going to try it on for a little bit to see how it works, just to see how it works.
Look, it may work the same way for one person that it
And
does for another, and then again,
it may
it may
not.
do nothing.
Mm-mm. It could
You
keep you
know?
awake or so, or make you jittery, like you said. That one made you could be something good for somebody to help you
Yeah.
sleep, or maybe for bipolar. You don't know, but and until they try it. But it's going to take you 2 weeks or so. But we don't want
Hmm.
people to be on something for 90 days instead of just
Right.
30 days.
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
something, a mail order or something. So we're going to say, no, we're going to try you for 30
Well,
days. You're
that's
going to come and
why
see
if
us.
you notice when doctors when you go to see a doctor and he gives you a script,
Mhm.
he never writes a 90-day script
No,
the first time. It's always the
no, they
30
do not.
days script. Let's see if it works. If it
Exactly.
doesn't work, throw it away and we'll find something that works.
Yes, that's even when they started me with my thyroid medication. She started
Hmm.
me on low dosage. She said, "Let's see how it works for 30 days. Let's check your blood again, and then we'll see how that works. If not,
Yeah.
we'll up your dosage again." And that's how she did that until she got it perfect the way I needed to
Yeah.
be. And that's just with
Exactly.
that. It's common. Some of that stuff is
Yeah.
genetic, but what can you do? And like, learn your warning signs first of all, and
Well,
check your
the
sleeping
biggest
patterns.
thing is, and I heard you say some of it is genetic.
Hmm.
They have not. We have to be very clear about this.
No, like mine,
They,
my thyroid was genetic,
oh,
so that's
okay,
how
I
they could
got you.
tell. But like
Okay.
with like these here, they're not
Oh yeah.
genetic.
Well, some of it
So,
is genetic, but
hmm.
overall,
Hmm.
thyroid medications work pretty good.
Yes.
You know,
Hmm.
my first wife,
Hmm.
she passed away now, but my first wife had a thyroid condition, and she had to take medicine for it,
Hmm.
and she lost a considerable amount of weight, but it did have some, I want to say, side effects. Okay, it
Hmm.
had some side effects. It made her moody a
Hmm.
little bit. Um, it made her a little edgy a little bit, but overall, it did what it was supposed to do. But again, I'm going back. Oh God, almost 40 years.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay, like I'm
changed a
going back
lot.
like a long time. A
Hmm.
lot. They have gone leaps and bounds
Hmm.
in the last 40 years with medication,
Oh yes, they have.
especially thyroid. Now you say, okay, here, you take a shot. Boom. Okay, I'll see
Hmm.
you in 6 months.
Yeah.
They got shots now that last 5 6 months.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, one shot, it'll stay in the bloodstream for 6 months
Hmm. Oh,
for
that.
for your thyroid,
Yeah, and if I forget to take mine, I was like, well, should I? I was like, did I forget to take my medicine? Oh yeah, I did. Or
right?
did I not?
Yeah, you take a needle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, my medication is like every morning, but if I forget, I was like, "Okay, did I take it?" But yeah, I did, so I
Oh
remind
yeah, you
myself
have to
is
remember. Yeah,
yeah, and
exactly. You
that's the
have to
hard part
remember,
too. And a lot of this time, a lot of this they blame it on your memory or something like that, but that's not really a thing because a lot of this
right?
stuff is the same thing, memory. And you got to make plans. You got to tell yourself, "Okay, do I exercise?" But that's with everything. You got to exercise. If they tell you exercise, eat right, but that's with anything, no matter what you have. I mean, again,
Yeah,
that's another a point. It's all wrapped up the same thing. Your ADHD, OCD, it's the
yeah,
same. And a lot of people are married, and of course, you have to deal with each other with this. You got to help each other with that.
sure,
And
absolutely.
it's hard on the spouse too, not just the person that's diagnosed with this,
Yeah, who you telling?
right?
No,
And
yeah, I know. Well,
and
look, your situation and my situation are very similar. Neither
mhm,
my wife and neither,
mhm,
had a heart attack
yeah,
back in April, March,
mhm,
April, around there.
mhm,
That
yeah,
was quite a shock to our system around here
yeah,
because she was in pretty good health. We
mhm,
thought,
mhm,
we thought, and then
yeah,
we realized, oh shit, we got a problem here. I got to get this
mhm,
woman to the hospital.
yeah, and we
Thank
all
God that
learned.
I
Thank
could,
God, yeah.
yeah, the hospital, like it's literally right up the. We could. It takes us 30 seconds to get to the hospital
That's great. She
because
was
the hospital is like right around the corner from my house.
oh, wow.
I mean, like, yeah, probably on a good day I could walk there
Mm.
as long as I'm not bleeding out somewhere,
I think, "Oh, no, help."
right? But we want to cut it short tonight because we got
Mhm.
some other things we want to talk about.
Oh, definitely, and I think we have a
The
commercial
essence
to
of what
show
we're
as well
talking
soon.
about is if you're at the doctor
Mhm,
and your doctor says to you, you've got bipolar disorder,
mhm.
get a second opinion, get a third opinion.
Yes.
Don't take their word for it. They don't know. I Here's my contention, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, it's not rocket science. Just
No.
hear me out. If you don't know where bipolar disorder comes from, then how do you know how to treat it? And how do you know what to treat it with?
Right.
And how do you know it's going to work
Exactly. And
if
be
you don't know
honest.
where it comes from?
Be honest with everything. Be honest when you tell them they're not going to do anything to you. Any question they ask you,
No.
be
Look,
honest.
you go to the doctors, you're the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you understand it. You know that. You're the
Mm-hmm.
boss
Right.
at the doctors, not the doctor.
Mm-mm.
The doctor works for you.
Right.
Why? Because you're paying him.
Mm-hmm. And it's your body,
Okay?
not theirs.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying him your money
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that he treats you right
Exactly.
and gives you straight up current factual information about whatever condition he's diagnosing you with. If he fails to do that, say goodbye, doc. I'm going to find another doc.
Yes. We've had people come to us for a second opinion, and we've
Mhm.
actually diagnosed them with the correct diagnosis. We
Well,
have.
look, that's what you're there for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Amelia's crew is there for. You know, it's like a clearinghouse, like what do you want to call it, like a checkpoint?
Yes.
There you go. That's a great way to
Mm-hmm.
do it. A checkpoint. Perfect. So, give everybody the takeaway on this, Amelia, and then we'll talk about some
Yeah,
stuff
like
that
I
happened last
said,
night.
if you feel something's going on, go see your doctor. And like Angela said, get a second opinion, but always be honest, please. If they ask you, are you sleeping good? Don't say yes if you're not. If you're hearing voices, tell them yes.
Exactly.
I'm hearing voices. Be honest about that. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. Be honest.
Absolutely.
Be
Don't
honest
be
about it.
embarrassed. What she
No.
said is absolutely right.
Yes.
Don't be embarrassed to speak the truth.
Exactly.
My doc, every time I go to my doctor,
Mm-hmm.
he says, "Are you feeling suicidal?" Nope. And I'm not.
No. But if you
Are you
are,
sleeping
say
okay?
yes.
Nope. And I'm not. Are you
Mm-mm.
eating okay? Oh yeah, look at me. I'm eating good. You know?
But healthy, maybe not. But he's eating well.
No, it is healthy, but I like a lot of sugar. I like
There
donuts
you
and
go. See,
candy.
so he's not eating
But
healthy.
I'm a diabetic, so donuts and candy are my enemy. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Yep.
I
And
try to eat sugar free, but you know something? Listen to me. I
hmm
want people to hear this because they need to. If you're a diabetic and you eat sugar free stuff, guess what? Your body doesn't know it's sugar free.
no,
Your body only tastes sweet. Your body thinks it's sugar.
so you got to be very
And,
careful with how much you eat, right?
and
Of
it's
the sugar
going to
free.
tell your brain it's sugar.
Mm,
Okay? If you're going to eat sugar free stuff, you better make sure that you fasted, you purged, you cleansed, because otherwise your body's going to think, oh, here's just more sugar for me to have fun with.
oh wow. So it's
They don't
more
tell you
sugar.
that in diabetes class, do they?
Mm, no.
No, I had to find a doctor that was honest enough to tell me that.
Hmm. Yeah.
He said, your body doesn't know the difference between sugar and sugar free
No.
because it's sweet.
It's sweeter a little bit, probably.
Your body only knows is it sweet or is it not.
Mm,
That's all. That's all your body knows. Is it sweet or is it not sweet? Okay?
no. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful with things like that, and.
If you eat a piece of sugar-free chocolate
Hmm.
and you eat a regular piece of chocolate, guess what? They taste exactly the same. And your body absorbs them exactly the same. And your brain says that's chocolate. We like chocolate.
And you're just gonna keep eating it.
And yeah, and so that sugar-free chocolate that you got,
Hmm.
instead of eating two pieces, you ate the whole bag.
Oh.
Well, you didn't. I did actually.
Right. So it's just you're gonna say, "Oops, I'm out. I'm done. I'm out of it. I have to go back to the store and get some more."
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So listen, folks, that's what we want to leave you with.
Yes. And as you can tell, I
On
don't
that
have a
regard.
co-host anymore, so we're gonna go
Yeah.
back to two
Well,
shows a week next week. So
No, we will be here 3 days a week next
okay,
week.
okay.
Let's go. I'm keep. Here's what we decided to do.
Hmm.
Amelia and I are down one person. This was a 3-man crew. It's now a 2-man crew, and it's going to remain a 2-man crew. And we don't give a shit who likes it and who don't. We own the station, particularly I own the station, and Amelia's got carte blanche around here. So, and because I can't kick her out, she won't go away. And
I got to talk to Anita about that. She's my manager on that one.
yeah, right. Nah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna. You can me. Anita loves you so.
I love
Here's
her
the
too.
thing: we got to talk about last night. Okay.
After the break.
Well, oh yeah, I got a break coming up
Okay,
here. Oh,
after the break. We'll be right back.
yes, we will. Oh, you're getting good about the commercials. Listen to you. Wow, I'm getting ready to ramble. She's said, nope, and we got a commercial.
Yep.
You're right. Right after this, folks.
Mm.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0, your balls will thank you. And so will we. What's the Buzz Podcast wants to welcome Radioactive FM 88.6 in Wellington, New Zealand, Radio Perth, Australia, and RTL Radio 102.5 in Milan, Italy. Welcome aboard, and welcome to the Buzz. All right.
Hi.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, you did great.
I'm so happy about that.
Well, we had to put the break in there somewhere. We had to put the commercials
Yeah, I
in.
know. I was getting ready to babble on over here. I forgot. Um, and look, it happens once in a while.
Yeah.
Not often, but once in a
No,
while.
but we got on a great subject, so we just got caught up.
We
in
had
that moment.
a show last night. It was a very interesting show. We had two gentlemen, Corey Fair and Marlon Brown.
Mhm.
They host and co-host a show called Too Strong.
Mhm.
It's a podcast on YouTube. They got a sizable following on
Oh
YouTube.
yes.
They want our radio following. We want their YouTube following.
Right. Well, I don't know about the
They
YouTube.
have 110,000 subscribers.
Wow.
That's beautiful. God bless them. We got 550 subscribers,
Mhm.
and
Eh.
I could give
They
a shit.
wanted some of our radio, and I said,
I honestly, I thank you for subscribing, but I could give a shit whether you do or not. To be honest, I
especially.
really do. I honestly don't care, because my thing is radio. We're a
Mhm.
radio show.
Yeah, we love our radio.
We
people.
have YouTube for people who want to watch. And if you want to watch, there you go. Have a good time.
Right.
But if you don't want to watch, then turn on
Mm.
the radio and listen like everybody else does.
Right.
So here's the thing. So we had them on last night, and I showed a clip. We did a show last night, Amelia, and it was a controversial show in some regard.
Oh
It
yes.
was a show about Hollywood pedophiles. Well, Marlon and Corey came on last night, and the setup was that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
Which was a big surprise to me at first.
was a bit of a pedophile, that he liked little kids. Okay. I can't prove or disprove that, nor will I even try to attempt to.
Mhm.
What I was able to prove last night with factual information
Mhm.
is that there is a giant pedophile ring in Hollywood
Yes.
that has been there, is there, and will never go away there.
And we had some
It
young
has a
actors say that.
stronghold. It has a stronghold in Hollywood.
Mhm.
Why? Because they're sick motherfuckers anyway in Hollywood.
Absolutely sick.
You gotta sell your soul just to exist.
And to have
Okay.
the money, the cars, the mansion, everything.
Yeah. Oh, you got to sell your soul for all that stuff.
No.
Some things are not for sale.
Nope.
Okay. Some things are just not for sale.
No, they are not.
Um, so what happened with that is I showed a clip from Saturday Night Live, and I got blocked
That's
on
ridiculous.
YouTube. Just that video got blocked. They did not strike us.
Mhm.
It was not a copyright strike. And where it came from, and I was getting ready to rip YouTube, but
Mhm.
I can't do that because it wasn't their fault. I'm going to rip NBC Universal instead. I'm going to rip Saturday Night Live, those motherfuckers, because they're trying to protect the pedophile Rock that did the skit for them.
They
They're
shouldn't have done it in
trying
the
to
beginning.
hide. They're trying to hide his pedophilia inside of humor.
That's
Okay,
stupid.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson is a cash cow. He's a money machine.
He's a pedophile. Just call it like it is.
Yeah,
Call it
he's
like
a
it is. I
yeah.
ain't scared to say it.
And so here's the problem we have. Um, I get blocked for telling the truth, but the clip that I used came from Corey and Marlon.
I wonder if
That's
because we showed the whole thing, probably.
yeah, that's exactly why they
Yeah.
blocked me. Yeah,
Well,
because
NBC,
I
y'all
showed
did
the whole thing.
you did the whole skit, and y'all didn't get
I
blocked
did
from
the
NBC.
entire because I wanted
Uh-huh.
everything to be in context. I was showing in context
Mhm.
what the whole thing was about. Okay. Corey and Marlon showed little snippets.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll take the hit. It's not the first time we've been hit.
No, it's not. And it's
Not
not
going to
gonna be
be
the
the
last
last
time
time.
either.
It
You
won't
know?
be the last time either.
Nope.
Why? Here's why.
Because
Because
we're gonna
when you
tell the
tell the
truth.
truth, you got to risk being smacked.
Yeah, we're gonna tell the
Okay?
truth, and we're gonna continue telling the truth. So
I'm
if you
going to
don't
tell
like
the
it,
truth, and I
tough.
don't care if YouTube likes it. I don't care if Facebook likes it. By the way, we're having a problem with Facebook tonight, folks. Not on our end.
Mm-mm.
I'm being told by Facebook that they have a problem.
I think they've been having a problem all day, because it's been kicking me out all day. But I mean,
Has it
if they don't
really?
like us telling the truth, well, too bad. We're gonna be telling the truth whether you like it or not.
Absolutely.
NBC, Saturday
Look,
Night Live. Too bad.
I'm not. I'm not changing what we do
We're
here.
not.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I'm not changing what we do. We are a. We
we're
are
gonna call you
passionate.
out.
We're
Hmm.
yes, we'll call you the fuck out every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're passionate about what we do.
Hmm.
We research the shit out of our topics.
Exactly.
We choose topics that are important, that are critical to the day. If you want us to do bullshit, we'll do bullshit.
Hmm.
If you want us to come on here and talk about celebrity masturbation all night, we can do that.
Yeah. And
If
if
you want to
you
know who's jerking off who in Hollywood, we can do that.
Yeah, and if you want us to not call out your little pedophiles, NBC will do that. I don't care. You want me to get mad with you like I did those other two little bitty guys like I did before? I will do that to you too. Period.
And so don't get her started, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because you don't want me getting
Don't
started. I
get no,
already
you
did it
don't want
once.
her because you
I'll
think
do it
she
again.
because I'll never shut her up. Okay.
I will do it again. I don't care. Bring it on. Line it up.
Okay. Well, listen now. You're going to get us thrown off the air before we ever had a chance to say something here.
No, I'm not.
Then
I'm not gonna mention any names, but I will when I get started.
okay, okay. Well, can I get a word out now?
Go for it.
Thank you.
Ooh, they
Damn.
got the pit bull started. Okay.
Yeah, man. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the shows that we want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
And show what
We
we want
may
to
come
show.
on here. Amelia and I may come on here and just bullshit with each other for an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you want to listen to it, great. And if you don't, then there's
Mhm.
always someplace else.
And Angela's going to put the clips together that he wants to put together. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch them.
You don't have to watch anything.
No,
First of all, we're a radio format. You can't watch clips on the radio.
no.
That's why we describe them to you.
That's why we didn't have any today because we wanted to talk.
We wanted to talk today, and I got news for you.
Hmm.
You're going to see a lot less clips in the future
Yes,
because I decided, you know what? I put a lot of work into them clips.
you do. You do a great
It-
job. Thank you so much for
and it's
doing
just,
that
and
for the
it's not
show.
worth doing it anymore because nobody gives a
Mm-mm.
shit.
But you do a great job. I wanted to thank you for
I
that.
appreciate that,
Everything you've
Amelia.
done.
But
That.
here's the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
As much work as I put into them,
Mm-hmm.
nobody cares.
I care.
Well, you do because you're here.
And some of the listeners I know care. A lot of the listeners care. And I do know that.
Well, I need them listeners to like quadruple their numbers because
Mm-hmm.
500 subscribers is like, an insult. Okay, that's why I don't look. If you don't care enough about this show to subscribe to it, then why should we care?
Well, why don't we put up there where they can subscribe to this
Well,
show?
here you go.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this?
Yeah. And it's
We've
YouTube
got-
/
Hold
uh,
on. Let's do one thing at a
Yeah.
time. This is our main hub. This is our radio. It's wwtfradio.podbean.com. Our YouTube channels are youtube.com/at What's the Buzz Popcast, youtube.com/at Blunt Talk Radio, and finally, youtube.com/at The Psychic Realm Podcast. That's the oldest of our 3 YouTubes.
Yes.
Our Facebook, we have a growing number of people on our Facebook pages. We have 2 pages. We have What's the Buzz Podcast and Facebook.com What's the Buzz Pod.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our Facebook group,
Uh-huh.
I want you to notice there's a large number there after it says groups. Okay.
Mhm.
Don't worry about that number, folks. Just go into Facebook and type in What's the Buzz Popcast group.
Mm-hmm.
That'll take you right to what you're looking at. Okay. Amelia set that up for us and she did a great job with it. It's a great group. And I think it's working out good.
Oh, yes. We're also on
So
Instagram
if
and
you have
TikTok.
a show idea,
Mhm.
if you have something to promote, you want to be on the show to talk about something, everyone listening is invited. I will bring you on the show if you want to just come on and bitch about Joe Biden or Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi, or
Oh,
you
especially
want
that
to
one.
talk about your favorite movies, or you want to come on and talk about wrestling. No, we can even talk about wrestling if you want. Our address is What's the Buzz Popcast at gmail.com. And as always, we are WWTF Internet Radio, Global Internet Radio. We are at home or at work, on the road or in the car. We are everywhere you are. Take us to work with you if you're allowed, especially if you work the overnight shift, because we are on at night. But you can listen to us anytime you want.
Yes.
WWTF Radio is radio on demand.
Mhm.
You can listen at any time. If you miss a show, if you've missed one of our live shows, go back and listen to it.
Mhm.
And listen to it. Don't go on YouTube and watch
Oh,
it,
no.
because we want YouTube to kiss our fat white ass.
Yes.
Okay? I don't give a shit about YouTube. And I hope YouTube hears this. Okay? Because you're a bunch of lying, hypocritical motherfuckers who play favorites.
Yes, they do.
We don't play like that. Homie don't play that shit.
Mm-mm.
Okay? So here's
No,
the
they
way
don't.
it's going to roll. This is the way it's going to go down. All I care about is my radio.
Yes.
And you can't touch that. You know why? Because I own the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do whatever the fuck I want on radio.
Yeah. And check your local listings for channels because it's going to vary for your local
Check
areas.
your area. Yes, check your
Mhm.
local area. We are going to change and vary depending on where you live and
Mhm.
what country you live in. I know that we are available in England, Ireland,
Mhm.
Germany,
Italy.
Poland, Australia, Russia, New Zealand, um,
Italy.
Italy,
Hmm.
Austria. Um, and I think that's it.
Hmm.
I know that we are not yet in the Middle East. We're not in. We are not in Israel. We are not in on the con. We are not in Africa
Hmm.
yet. Working on getting there. Um, but we are all anywhere else. We're all over Europe.
Yes.
We're all over Europe. That's for sure. Um, and we are in Greece. We are
Hmm.
in Greece and we are in Switzerland, but we are not in Iran, Iraq, uh, uh, Palestine, Israel. We're not. We're not there. Um, so the only other thing, Melia, that I have to mention is something you might find really, really interesting.
Hmm.
I found out something last night that blew my mind.
Okay, I'm interested.
Okay, you know the shows we've been doing on the music business?
Yes.
Guess what Satan's job was in heaven?
Let's see. Music,
Come
like
on.
the choir director.
Oh, you're close. You're
Um,
real close.
let's see.
Satan
Uh,
was heaven's musical director. He was Satan was basically the music ambassador of heaven.
So he was the one that was supposed to be the most
That's
good-looking
why
angel with the most beautiful voice in heaven.
the most beautiful voice in heaven belonged to Lucifer. And when
Hmm.
he fell from heaven, when God kicked him out, guess what that little son of a bitch did?
He
He
still took
jumped
over the
right
music
on the
business.
music business.
Hmm.
Vodio do, baby.
And he decided to take the people with the most
Why do
beautiful
you think
voices
some
away from.
why do you think, Amelia, think about this.
Hmm.
Why do you think the music business loves Satan so much?
because
Why do you
they
think they love him so much?
because they could get whatever they want, basically.
He's the man.
Hmm.
He's their boy.
Yep.
He was the ambassador of music in heaven.
Hmm. And they can get them
That's what
whatever they
his
want.
that's what his gig was. He had the most beautiful voice, the above the angels. He was regarded as the most beautiful
Mm,
voice of all the angels. But he wasn't satisfied to love God. He wanted to be God.
mm. That is
So
so.
God said, "There's only one God around here. Guess what?
Hmm.
Your ass is out." And he kicked him out of heaven,
Hmm.
and he ain't allowed back in.
No, and he wants to take away something that doesn't belong to us, and that's our souls.
Yep. Not for sale, kid. Not
Nope,
for sale.
nope. It's, like I
Amelia, you
said
would
before.
believe us. We finished on time for the first time in 6 months.
Wow. Well, we got a great show coming tomorrow. It's our roundtable. We just discuss our weekly show. Plus, one of your favorite
Tomorrow night.
subjects.
Wait a minute. You jumping. See, I love your enthusiasm, but you got to clear it with me first because you're
Oh, be
jumping the
quiet. This
gun.
is the big mouth. You know, I got a big mouth, like you said.
You are big now. I want people to look at that. See that logo? That was modeled after her mouth over here.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow night, Ann Walsh and Marianne Howard,
yay, I can't wait
authors
to see them
of.
again.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Watch this.
I cannot wait to see them again. I miss those two ladies. They
Yeah,
are
they
some
are.
sweet,
They
sweet
are
ladies.
something else. Them two.
Hmm.
They are authors, co-authors, I should say, of
Hmm.
these two remarkable books. Let me show everybody these books. This is called Shadow of a Bass Man.
Hmm.
It's a book about the death and replacement of Paul McCartney
Hmm.
as seen through Paul's eyes.
Hmm.
And that's a great, great book. There's actually 4 books. These are the first
Hmm.
2. The other two are not published yet. They're
Not
not out
yet.
yet.
Mm-mm.
And the second book is called Shadow Dancing: The Rise of a Bassman.
Mhm.
This is a very special book because yours truly, the Mad Dog, I wrote the foreword to the book. You look, open up the book, and I wrote it. This is all. That's me. There you go.
Mhm.
I wrote the foreword, and I wrote the back.
That's cool. Great.
That's all me.
How long did it take you to write that?
Honestly,
Mhm.
about 20 minutes.
That's not
I have my mind goes like that.
bad.
Well, first of all, I know the Beatles, and I know the music, and I know what happened with the guys, and
And you spoke from the heart too, so
yeah. I want to make sure I do this right. Hold on, because these ladies put a lot of work.
they have a lot of research and time and
Oh my
effort
God,
and
please!
went back and forth and they were
Here
like,
it
should
is.
we put this? Should we put that in there?
This is what I wrote.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Can you see
Mhm.
it? I wrote
Yes. Mhm.
that. I wrote all that. Okay, and I wrote that there. Um, yeah, it took me about. Marianne texted me one night, and she
Mhm.
said, "Would you like write the foreword to the book for us? We would love you to do that."
Mhm.
I said, I would love to write the foreword to the book. Absolutely. I had it to her in 20 minutes,
Oh, that's wonderful.
and she didn't change a thing. She never changed a word.
Mhm.
It was perfect. You
That's
know,
good.
it
That
was
it's
perfect. It was
especially when you write from the heart. You know what your the music. You know
if you
them. And,
know your subject matter, it makes all the difference in the
mhm.
world. Who doesn't love the Beatles? Come on,
Mhm. Yeah,
you
we
know.
grew up. I grew up on that when my mom, would play that around the house, and then Elvis and things like that. And as soon as I heard that, I said, "Oh, my mom's cleaning. I better get up and start getting
Right?
everything together because I know she's gonna start cleaning." So,
All right, you ready for this one? I got to tell you something.
hmm
The guys last night, right?
hmm
They were talking about Beyonce
oh yeah,
and how she sold her soul to the devil.
hmm
I was going through some of their shows. Do you know those two little bastards? They did a show on Is Elvis Alive?
really.
And Corey thinks Elvis is still alive.
hmm
How about that one? How
they
about that one?
they've done
What do
a
you think? You
lot.
think he's still around?
I think so. I think so, and I think that she was somewhere around with Priscilla mourning their daughter
I
because
think that
she looks a little upset that he probably couldn't be there with them physically.
yeah. Um it was interesting. I believed, and I still believe it. I don't think that Elvis is alive anymore,
Hmm
but I think that he survived well past that
The
date.
hmm
And the reason I say that is there is too much evidence. Just if you take the evidence just from Graceland alone,
hmm
okay? I showed a video on
yes,
this show, not once,
a few times.
twice,
Hmm
okay? Two or three times
hmm
of Elvis at Graceland. And I don't mean walking around. I mean
no,
you know, coming out of the door
yes.
and getting into his car and with other people and people, you know, bowing to him, yes, sir, and no,
hmm
sir, and a whole
Taking pictures
staff.
with them after dinner, coming out of the.
Yeah,
Hmm
the butler
hmm
and
Yeah.
they have tours at Graceland. It's interesting because there were no tours allowed that day.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's somebody sitting in a recliner like you were showing that one time, and And I
Oh,
thought,
that's a whole nother thing. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a whole nother thing.
And I think, to me, the tours not being allowed that day. So, okay, and then you were showing that picture. I said, that's him exactly, because I mean, the facial features, the hair, the way that the skin, the face, and like that. I said, that's him
Yeah,
exactly. You could tell.
sure,
And then the
absolutely.
person videoing, you could see that they were wanting to make sure that they got that video.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And I'm glad you said something too. Good. Very good. Well, folks, that's a hump day, another one in the books.
Hmm.
For Amelia Pitbull Chapman, I am Angelo the Mad Dog, the Scipio. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Blunt Talk, the Big Mouth, and What's the Buzz podcast. Tomorrow night, a very special roundtable,
Hmm.
The Beatles with Ann Walsh and Marianne Howard. Good night, everybody. We'll
Good
see you
night,
tomorrow night.
everyone.
Bye bye.